Selling your home in 3 days, that's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video, so let's get into it. By the way, my name's Margaret. My dad, Michael, and I make videos to educate you about living in the southern Maine area. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send an email, schedule a Zoom call. All of our information is down below, as well as those free downloadable resources. We have a seller's success guide, a relocation guide, and a home buyer dream checklist, all free for you to use. So what are we going to do day one? The first thing you need to do is hire a listing agent and set that competitive price. Now, depending on where you live, even if you live in 2 different counties in the same state, the real estate market is going to look a little different. So the process of going about this is going to vary a little bit from state to state, so bear with me a little. But across the board, you're going to want to hire a listing agent and figuring out that right price for your home. Now, there's a misconception that your Zestimate on Zillow or the appraised value of your home is exactly what you're supposed to list it for, and that is so incredibly untrue. There are lots of factors that those numbers do not take into account, and keep in mind that's not actually a person crunching the numbers, it's just Zillow's estimate basically of what they think your home could go for based on what others have sold for. It doesn't always take into account all of the factors necessary, and it isn't necessarily individualized to your specific market. As for the assessed value of your home, that also does not take into account supply and demand in and around your real estate market. And there's often a misconception that the assessed value is what you're going to list your home for, that's what your home's worth, and it's just not true. When you're hiring a listing agent, they're going to go over a variety of different marketing techniques on how to get your house out there and how to get it sold fast. If that's your goal anyways, to, get your home sold fast. Some people need a few extra months in the home and that's not necessarily their goal, but generally speaking, we want to get you the highest and best price for your house and we want to get it sold for you. So every real estate agent is going to do what we call a CMA, and we're going to try and figure out what exactly we should put your home on the market for, what we think it's worth. And this is based on a few different factors, but basically we're taking a few different houses that have sold recently on the market and we're evaluating them, and we're kind of doing a compare and contrast and trying to figure out exactly what your home would go for. Now, some people's technique is to shoot for the stars and put a house on the market for pretty much the highest point for which they think they can sell it for. Some people, if you're trying to sell the home fast, they want to list it a little bit lower just because they want to get it off the market. They want to get it off their hands. So again, that comes down to you and your situation. There's a lot of different techniques and, different strategies for trying to get a house sold fast. Some people like to go about it by, sending out mailers and flyers. Some people are more into social media. Some people are going to door knock or cold call. Not only do different brokerages go about things differently, but different real estate agents go about things differently. So keep this in mind when you're shopping around for a listing agent, and try to keep an open mind about what you think your home's worth. Again, try not to get too hung up on your Zestimate or the assessed value of your property, as that's not necessarily what your house is going to go on the market for. So what are we going to do day 2? Day 2, we're going to boost the curb appeal and we're going to declutter the home. Now, there's a lot of different things you can do to kind of prep your house to go on the market. Some people want to do a remodel. Some people say, hey, don't do a remodel, it's not worth it. Some people want to paint the house all beige. Some real estate agents will tell you that that's a bad idea because the new buyer is just going to come in and basically repaint and redo the whole house anyways. But generally speaking, regardless of what your strategy is for cleaning up the house or getting it ready to put on the market, you need to create a little bit of curb appeal and you need to declutter the house. So as you probably know, first impressions are incredibly important. So when you're driving up to the house, you want it to look nice. And I'm not saying you necessarily need to go out and hire a landscaper and that your yard needs a complete makeover. But if you know a showing's coming up in the next day or so, mow the lawn, pick things up a little bit so that things look a little bit more tidy, as a lot of people determine if the house is going to be right for them the second they pull in the driveway. As for the interior of the home, for a lot of people this might seem like common sense, but shockingly, decluttering the house is actually a factor that gets commonly missed. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out and throw out all your valuables or get rid of half your stuff even though you're moving. All I'm saying is tuck things away a little bit. If you have a bunch of different ornaments out, maybe tuck them away, put them in a cabinet. While you do still want things to look a little homey, you don't want things to feel overly cluttered because it makes it harder for the buyer to get in there and envision the space how they they see themselves living there. When there's less stuff around and less stuff lying on different tables and cabinets, it's easier for people to kind of envision this and envision themselves living in your home. So again, a complete remodel of your home is absolutely not necessary, but decluttering a little bit and picking up your yard are two huge factors that will not only help with the showings of the house, but it helps significantly to do this before the photography is done for your house as well. And day 3. So day 3, we're going to get the photography done. We're going to do our 3D tours. We're going to make our listing video, and we're actually going to launch the listing. Now, it's always a debate whether or not professional photography is necessary when listing a house. For me personally, I always like to get it done. While you can definitely take great photos on your camera, it definitely helps to get a professional photographer in there, get them, they're going to edit the photos, they're going to make things look really nice, and overall it can definitely help elevate your listing a little bit. Now, again, this isn't completely necessary. You can definitely launch a listing without paying to get professional photography done, but if you have a few $100 to kind of throw at this and get the nice photography done, I would definitely recommend it. Now, the 3D tours, you might not know what I'm talking about, but on certain listings and with the photos, you might see a 3D tour available. Now, this could be a Matterport tour, it could be from I Spy. There's a few different brands that do that, but basically we're going to come in, or a photographer is going to come in with a special 3D camera, and we're going to set it up on a tripod and move the camera throughout the house while you're kind of ducking out of the way of the camera so you don't get in, and it creates a 3D model of your home that people can actually click into, kind of like a video game, and walk throughout your house. Now, some people think this is a little unnecessary. It's kind of, it's up to the individual person and the individual listing agent and the sellers, but I find that they're incredibly helpful because it helps people really figure out if the home is right for you. Even with professional photography, it's kind of hard sometimes to figure out the lay of the land and figure out exactly what the interior of the home looks like. With a 3D tour and a listing video, it helps significantly for people to figure out how they're going to be navigating throughout the home. And same thing with the listing videos, which you do see from time to time on our channel. It helps to create a different view of the home and show what it's like to be walking through it. Now, if you're doing a 3D tour, you might not necessarily want to do a listing video. Some people aren't really comfortable in front of the camera, but again, it's another way to get out there and market the home and kind of show people what it looks like inside, because the pictures don't always show the blueprint super well. And even if you get a floor plan done where not necessarily the measurements are in there, but it'll kind of show you where the different rooms are and the doors, and you get the photos done, it's still kind of hard to piece those together. So 3D tours and listing videos definitely help significantly, and it's a good idea to ask your listing agent if this is a service that they provide. And again, that last step is just launching your listing. If you have the photography done, your documents are filled out, and you're ready to go, then you can launch your listing. And if it's set at a competitive price, you've gotten all the work done, you've picked up the yard a little, you'll certainly increase your chances of getting your home sold. Now, obviously, from the day that you meet your listing agent or just decide to sell your home to the day you close takes more than 3 days, but generally speaking, those are the big ones that you need to get done in 3 days to sell your home. I hope you found this video helpful. And again, my name's Margaret. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send an email, schedule a Zoom call. All of our information is down below, as well as those free downloadable resources for you to use as well. And we'll see you next time.